You're watching Sunday Sports Wrap.
We're back here on the Sunday Sports Wrap with Trent Meacham and the Sunday Fast Break, the last one before the NCAA Tournament starts, Trent. And, okay, take your analyst hat off for me. Put your former Illini hat on. What's this mean to you to see this?
Wow, we're here, the end of the season. All this that's gone into it, and, you know, to cut down the nets here in Indianapolis for the Big Ten title. You know, we missed out on the regular season, you know, unfortunately, but do they deserve this or what? I mean, this is special. All the sacrifice that's gone into it. Such a challenging year, full of adversity. We talked about that at the beginning of the season. Who can handle adversity the best? This team has weathered many storms, and it's fun to see them smiling, cutting down the nets in Indianapolis. Hopefully they'll be doing this in another month right there in Indy. But that was a lot of fun this weekend.
April 5th, the Final Four and National Championship game. It's going to be right back there at Lucas Oil Stadium. And the Illini certainly talked about that today, and that is their goal, to get back there. I know this. They're going to enjoy it tonight in their hotel room by themselves, by the way, because they can't really celebrate after they go back to the hotel room. But what impressed you most about what this team was able to do in beating Ohio State?
Well, Illinois, they were playing at juggernaut status throughout the course of the games of this past week. I love when they get out in transition, when they play with great pace and space. The ball's moving around. So many different players are stepping up. It's not just Io and Kofi. Of course, those are the two headliners, but Andre Curbelo has been terrific. He's been playing all Big Ten level the past few weeks. But again, it comes back to defense and rebounding. And when they really lock down on defense, I think they're the hottest team in the country right now.
Illini get the 3rd overall seed in the NCAA Tournament, #1 seed, along with Gonzaga, Baylor, Illinois, and Michigan in that order. Let's break down a couple of plays here, because these are things that you saw that you liked in the game, Trent.
Great pace, great space. The ball is moving from one side to the other. You saw Kofi even inside out. That rarely happens from the big fella. But right here, ball screen action, okay? Now pause it, okay. Look at the factor that Kofi, all these 3 Ohio State players have to defend him. It leaves DeMonte Williams open for a shot. I mean, that's just the amount of attention that Kofi commands every possession. But when they can play with great space there, they're really tough. And here we are, into the game. Okay, this is the final bucket. Andre Curbelo, Coach Underwood put the ball in his hands a lot, and here he is. Ohio State, great defense, okay? Dwayne Washington's tagging Kofi Coburn. There's really no opening. He pauses, he hesitates, gets to his spot. That's a big-time play for anyone, let alone a freshman. You talk about poise, you talk about patience, you talk about coming up clutch. Andre Curbelo, man, that kid is fun to watch, and then delivering in the clutch there is special.
Everything, regular season, Big Ten tournament put to bed, and this is what we've got here. The bracket announced on WCIA. You saw it right after the Big Ten championship game. Andre Curbelo cutting down the nets. As the #1 seed was announced, what do you make of this part of the bracket in the quad? There's storylines galore for me here.
Well, it's great to see the orange and blue up at #1, right? Yeah, there are storylines, okay? Because this next game, you could be facing Loyola Chicago, okay? This is a team, Porter Moser took them to the Final Four just a few years ago. They have a center, Cameron Krutwig. That's going to be a really interesting matchup if Illinois plays Loyola Chicago. Big fella, very skilled. He's already played in a Final Four. He's a freshman on their Final Four team. That could be a really fun game against Loyola Chicago. And then if they advance from there, I tell you what, Oklahoma State is a tough matchup. They have the probable #1 pick in the draft, Cade Cunningham, on their team. They've won, I think, they have the second most quad 1 wins after Illinois in the country. Athletic, talented team. Tennessee as well, very athletic team. So, you know, you get past this first game, there's no cupcakes. This is the NCAA tournament. I think Illinois is the team to beat. I think they might be the team to beat in all of the tournament. But, hey, there's some real challengers here, especially I think Loyola Chicago could be interesting. And I'm looking at Oklahoma State. I think that's the toughest matchup for them in that whole bracket.
Isn't it fun to just sit here and talk about the future, though? And we all know Illinois is going to beat Drexel. This is going to be 1987 Austin Peay. At least Illini Nation would like to hope that's not the case. Where we can kind of look at the bracket here and dissect things. That's what's so much fun for me. Liberty there as well. You know, they're into the tournament. There's going to be an upset along the way. It's just so much fun to be sitting here and talking about it. We'll break down all of this coming up Thursday night in our Your Illini Nation Back in the Bracket. But before then, to listen to Trent and I's entire conversation, we've got this on our website with the 3-in-1 podcast. You can download it now on your favorite podcast player. Trent, thanks so much for coming in. And that's going to do it tonight for the Sunday Sports Wrap on a fun day for Illini Nation. We'll have it covered all week for you and all tournament long. Good night.